everyone, welcome to the next session on Advanced Answers Workbench tutorials. In this session, we will analyze a ball valve for its thermal analysis. We will start by double-clicking on Steady State Thermal module. We'll first go to Engineering Data and double-click. Here, we are going to first we'll click on Engineering Data Sources, General Materials. Stainless steel is one of the material used for the ball valve. Then we'll click on Engineering Data Sources again, and we will add two more material. One is brass, for which we will give the value of isotropic thermal conductivity 115 watt per meter degree Celsius, and the other material is CPVC, for which we will give the value of isotropic thermal conductivity, which is 0.16 watt per meter Kelvin or watt per meter degree Celsius. So these are the three materials we are going to use. Next, we'll go to project and update project. After this, we'll go to geometry and right click. We will import the geometry of the ball valve. Then we'll go to model and double click. We'll first go to geometry and click on the plus sign here. We will select all the three material. The first material I'm going to analyze for is stainless steel. Then I'll go to mesh and directly update the default size of the mesh. I'm not changing the size. If you want, you can reduce the size of this mesh and analyze. Then we'll go to steady state thermal and right click here and insert temperature. Now the first temperature which I'm going to insert is internal. So I'll select the surface inside. Now here there are two ways of analysis possible. One is, say the fluid inside is at a higher temperature and the temperature outside is lower as compared to internal temperature, or vice versa. So I am taking up the case where I am giving the internal temperature as a higher value. So I'll select this surface and I'll give the internal temperature as, say, 45 degrees Celsius, which is, say, some summer temperature. Then I'll right click and I will insert convection on the outer surface. So once this is selected, I'll click on apply. Now I'll give the film coefficient as, say, 10 watt per mm square degree Celsius, and the ambient temperature I'll leave it to 22 degrees Celsius. Now if you want, you can again give a temperature here, but I am not giving any outer temperature because it is obvious that the ambient temperature is 22 degrees Celsius. So these are the two boundary conditions that I'm giving. Then I'll go to solution and right click here and insert thermal temperature. Also, I will insert thermal total heat flux. I will insert directional heat flux. Now if you check, this direction outwards is Y. So I want to see what will be the temperature change along the Y axis. You can see along the Z axis as well, that's your choice. Then I'll go to solution and solve. So once it's selected, I'll click on apply. The temperature is 22. So we'll go to solution and solve once again. Now we go to temperature. You can see here this temperature maximum is 45. That's what we have given. Inside you can see it's red in color. And this is 21.9, which is 22 degrees Celsius on the outer end. Then we'll go for total heat flux, which you can again see over this body. And the highest value is 1.29 watt per mm square. And the directional heat flux, as you can see, is 0.744 watt per mm square maximum. That's because we have given the film coefficient as 10 watt per mm square degree Celsius. Now once this is obtained, we will go for the next material. So we will select all three of them. We will change this to brass and we'll solve once again. Now you can see the temperature change over this body. Again, the highest and the lowest value is not going to change, but you can see this temperature difference which has occurred. Then we have total heat flux over this body. Maximum is 9.845 watt per mm square and directional heat flux is 5.67 watt per mm square. This value has drastically increased for brass because the value of K is something which we have changed. Now we will go to this material and we will change it to CPVC and let's see the result. By using plastic, what happens? So it's possible that the value of convection coefficient is not proper. So we will change this to 0.03. We'll go to solution and solve once again. So now we'll go to temperature. Again, you can see the temperature difference. You can see here, this is the total heat flux over the body. The value of convection coefficient was very high for plastic material. Hence, you did not get the answer. You will have to change this value of film coefficient. So now you can see the total heat flux is 0.01369 watt per mm square. And you can see the directional heat flux is 0.007894 watt per mm square. You can animate and check these results if you want. So you can see the change in temperature which happens. So when you use plastic as a material for the valve, it is obvious that it is going to work for a particular temperature value only. If you are using a higher temperature value, plastic is obviously not the material to be used. You should use metals. That is the best choice of material for such applications. When you have lower temperatures, you can go for plastic. Or say if the temperature of the fluid inside is lower and the outer temperature is just 45 or 50, still it will work. But if it is increasing too high, then it is not a good choice of material because plastic is anyways going to be melting under high temperature, or there can be leaching of plastic if you use it in household applications, where water is transferred and you use these kind of valves. So in those cases, it is not a good choice. But in industrial applications, yes, it can be used, but temperature has to be maintained for plastic. So with this, I end the session. I hope you have understood the analysis. If you have any doubt, please write to me in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for latest video updates. See you in the next session. Thank you.